Some days that we literally just don't have the time, the energy, the patience to do a big declutter. And so today's video is about how do we do tiny declutters that make huge differences in our homes. So let's talk about the first one, and that is the one drawer challenge. I use the one drawer challenge even to this day all of the time. When I start to feel like things are just starting to pile up and feel overwhelming, I will tell myself that it doesn't need to be an all-day declutter. It doesn't need to be a whole trash bag. Honestly, if I find one basket or drawer that feels overwhelming and I can declutter it, then I can check that off and I can know that I am being a successful human being. I am accomplishing things and I am making my life easier, which is always my number one. And that's exactly what I did today. I took one bin that felt just a little bit overwhelming, and I decluttered it, and it took me less than 5 minutes to do the whole thing, which is really the goal at the end of the day. We don't want to make decluttering feel overwhelming. We don't want to make decluttering be in our brain something that is hard to do. Because when we make those connections in our brain that decluttering is overwhelming and hard, guess what? I'm not doing it, girl. Like, I am not handling that if it is a hard thing for me to do. And that is why for so many years I would stumble over decluttering. I would start to do a big declutter. I would halfway through, I'd give up. I just shove everything back in there, right? I'm pretty sure there's got to be a few of you that are like me. And so when I started to do these one drawer declutters, I felt so accomplished at the end of them. And even if you take the week and you say, I'm going to do one drawer or one basket or one shelf every day, by the end of it, you have 7 baskets that have been decluttered. You have 7 drawers that look better and work better for you, and it took you 5 minutes or less to do it. And so it really reminds me of that book, The Atomic Habits, that I read a long time ago. Probably need to reread it again, but he talked about how when we want to start new habits, we have to make them easy, accessible. They cannot be this massive challenge. And a one drawer, a 5-minute declutter feels like it's something that I can do, that I can be successful at. And so therefore, I know that I can do it again and again and again, and it can become a pattern of doing something that's going to make my life easier. So this has to be the gloomiest day in a long time. So basically I have to just stand here by the window. Sorry guys, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing next. Don't worry. The next one is to pay attention to your drop zone. This is my favorite thing to have in my home, and I had no idea how important it was until I had one. And that is to really recognize where is your family, or if you live by yourself, where are you going in and putting your things down? Do you have a place for everything, and everything has a place? If you don't, why? What could be a solution to this problem? Is this area just have too much stuff? There is so many times in my life that I realized that I had too many pairs of shoes. I had too many jackets. I had too many bags. I had too many hats and gloves because it didn't fit what I had. And it reminds me so often of that container rule of, if it doesn't fit in the container, I can't have it, right? If it doesn't fit, I can't have it. Our space is limited. And yes, sure, it would be super fun to have 50 pairs of shoes. It would be super great to have every cute pair of gloves and hats that I wanted, but I only have a finite amount of space. And so therefore, the space has to tell you what it can hold. And we all have different thresholds. We all have different amounts of things that we can really keep and feel like we can accomplish and take care of, but your space is going to have to dictate the amount of things that you have. And so in your drop zone, is it just you have too much stuff and that's why you feel like your drop zone is not successful? Do you have hooks where you want to put your bag or your coat? If you don't, maybe it's as simple as adding a few hooks. Do you have a place for your keys? Do you need a basket there so that you can hold these things? And in the drop zone, the last thing I'll say is that one of the easiest no-brainers that I started doing was throwing my mail away before I came inside. Now, it doesn't happen every time. If it's pouring down raining, Sure, not gonna happen. But if you have a trash can near your entrance that you could use, then throw it away before you come inside, because that is automatically setting yourself up for success. You are only going to be bringing in that mail that you have to deal with or you have to use, and you're not bringing in a bunch of junk, throwing it down in this area that is so important and then leaving there and forgetting about it. So as often as possible, only bring in that mail that is the most important. Okay, so I love a good quick declutter. I love some good helpful tips to declutter. And the next one is going to be, I want you to move 3 items, just 3, to where they belong. 3 items. If you look around your space, I'm looking around my space right now, I already see 5, but we're only gonna do 3. So 3 items in this room that don't belong. Why is that a great idea? Well, goes back to, we want to be successful. We want to make decluttering and organizing our things in our homes easy. And one of the big things that always tripped me up at the end of the night was I'd look around the room and there would be a ton of things out of place. And so you know what my brain would do? It would say, I'm not doing any of it. It would say, I'm not even starting this. This is too big. This is too much. Well, as my decluttering journey went on, I learned that it gets easier, but also set some quick limits, set some quick expectations, I guess is a better word, for your evening. If you can accomplish 3 things being put away, you're doing awesome, okay? That's the bar right there. Put 3 things away before you sit down, relax on the couch, read a book, watch a show, whatever. And if after those 3 things, you still feel great and ready to do a few more, then do it. Finish resetting the whole room. Finish putting the dishes away. But let's not tell ourselves that we always have to do everything, because that is setting ourselves up for failure and to feel like we are not successful, and we are. Every time that you are doing that little bit to help yourself in the morning, you are being a successful, amazing human being. And so today I challenge you to look around whatever room that you are in and to put 3 of those things away before you go and chill. Okay, so this next one is awesome. And that is, I want you to put 5 minutes on your timer again, and I want you to find a flat surface that feels that feels overwhelming, feels cluttered. Maybe it's your dining room table, maybe it's your kitchen. If there is a surface that is flat in your home that you are not happy with, today, right now, is the time where we're gonna accomplish resetting our flat surface. Why is this important? Well, flat surfaces are not only clutter catchers, they can really dampen the feel of a room. They can suffocate us and make us feel like the room doesn't flow, doesn't feel right. I don't want to be in this room. I remember so many of my adult life years, I had so many things on our countertops in our kitchen. And where I am still not an amazing cook, okay, I'm getting better as things go on, but I really didn't want to cook. I really never wanted to be in there. I really didn't want to have dinners for my family. And I didn't want to deal with any of it because it was just too much. I remember saying, like, there's nowhere for me to even cut things up to make a dinner. I have to move everything first. If that's what we're setting up with, then of course we're not going to do these things. Of course we're not going to want to have nice dinners and have our family at the dining room table, because that is really hard. But today we're going to take 5 minutes. I want you to look at everything you have on that flat surface that's overwhelming you. And I want you to take away at least 10% of those things. I love to use the rule of 3 or less. I did not invent that, but the 3 or less rule really reminds me that when I go beyond 3 things on a flat surface, it feels cluttered and overwhelming to me. But 3 or less, I feel fine. I feel like I can dust it. I can move it. I can figure it out and fix it if I need to, but only if it's 3 or less. So hopefully that rule can work for you. Real quick, if you are enjoying this video, then please come join us on Minimal Ease and subscribe. And of course, if you're already decluttering here with us, then throw a heart emoji down below, because I don't know about you, but I love to know that I am not alone on this crazy decluttering journey. Okay, the last thing that we are going to accomplish today for these tiny declutters that are going to make huge differences in our homes is we're going to find a place in our home where we do not have any kind of boundary, and we are going to put a container there. Let's go back to I think it's Dana White's whole idea of the container rule, which I mentioned earlier, but we're gonna bring it on back. And so we're gonna use her amazing container rule to help us in one area around our house. And you don't have to go out, please don't go out and buy containers for this area just yet. Just find a box that you might have laying around the house or an old basket that you haven't used in a while. Go find that first and let's contain those items. This really helps me with things like cords. I recently went through all of our cords, our extension cords, our computer plug things, like I don't even know all the terminology, right? But all the extension cords, I went through everything, and girl didn't spend a dime on anything new. I used some gallon-sized Ziploc bags that I already had, and I labeled them, I put them in there, and so everything was contained. If it couldn't fit in my Ziploc bag, which then went into its own container, then I couldn't have it because I knew that I was giving myself enough of a boundary and enough space where I felt comfortable. I hope that helps. So think about one area in your house today, whether it's toys, maybe it's your Legos, that feels like it's just trailing off like ivy and taking over your space. And today we're going to set a 5-minute timer and we're going to accomplish giving ourselves a boundary using exactly what we already have in our homes. You guys, you are going to be so successful. I am just completely rooting for you. And I can only say that over the past 6 years, no, this hasn't always been easy to declutter. No, it has not always been successful when I declutter, but it has gotten easier. It has gotten better. It has made my life so much more pleasant to be in, I guess is what I could call it. Just easier to live in my life with less. So if you have enjoyed this, then please go ahead and watch one of these videos right here. And I wish you guys all the very best.